So our standard SAP SD process, from where it does get started. It starts with the inquiry. This inquiry would be coming from the customer that I want some product, right? And then with this, we will create this inquiry in the system. And with respect to this inquiry, we would be creating our quotation. In quotation, we'll be responding to the inquiry. Inquiry came from the customer and we just punch the inquiry in the system. Quotation we create with respect to inquiry to respond back to the customer that for this particular material, what has been required by a customer, whether we would be able to supply, on what dates we'll be able to supply, and what should be our price. In quotation, the most important thing is price. At what price we would be able to supply you. And then after the quotations, once customer agrees, okay, I agree with this quotation, we agree with the prices, let's go ahead and provide the material to me that we get it created. Sales order will get it created. Sales order is created with reference to which document? Which document you would be requesting from customer to give you that you can create a sales order? What would be the document from the customer side? Purchase order. Very good. So you would be getting a purchase order. We need to have a purchase order from the customer. His customer would be giving us the purchase order. This purchase order is in his system. He would be giving it us. And with reference to this purchase order, we would be creating a sales order. A sales order would be created. A sales order would get created in our system, right? We will be mentioning this purchase order as a reference in the sales order itself so that we can track against which purchase order from the customer, what sales order we have created. What sales order we have created. Now this process, starting from inquiry till quotation, this is called pre-sales. And this process from sales order and from the ahead from the sales order will also it will go. That is called your order processing. Pre-sales and then order processing. Now, it is not mandatory that the inquiries would be required for each of the scenarios. This inquiry is optional. Inquiries will only be creating if there is a new customer. If we have existing customer, we are already supplying it, the rates has been agreed, we have a contract, or even we don't have a contract, we have a pricing conditions maintained for it. Price has been negotiated. We are already supplying. He came up for the repeated orders. Will not go with the inquiry and quotation process. Will be directly starting with the sales order process. If it is a repeated customer for which it has been agreed. Inquiry process inquiry and quotation process will happen either for a new customer or the same customer is asking for the new kind of materials from us. Earlier he is buying, let's say the 50 kg sugar. Now he want to buy the 1 ton sugar bag. Okay, and for that the inquiry came. So if the existing customer buying a new material or new customer is there, then only the inquiry and quotation process will come into the picture. For repeated orders, the inquiry and quotation will not come. You will see in SAP in many businesses, this process will straight away start with the sales order. Inquiry and quotation will not come into the picture, especially when it is a B2B scenario, business to business. We have a customer who is repeatedly buying from us. So he would be asking us that this is the thing I need to get more. He would be straight away giving the purchase orders and we'll be straight away creating a sales orders. So when you are working as a consultant and you are doing a consulting, make sure that SAP happens is start from inquiry quotation. So every customer need to start with that. It's not mandatory. Inquiry quotation would be a selective part, which would be only required if the pre-sales need to be done. If it is a direct sales booking, we'll be directly creating a sales order. This pre-sales part is not a very strong part. This pre-sales part is little, but it is a very basic functionality. These functionalities you will find more in depth in tools called CRM, which is now going to replace by C4C. Or SAP has another tool called CPQ, Configure Price Quote. The CRM, C4C, CPQ tools would be having a more enriched functionality for the pre-sales, because you need to do a lot of things into the pre-sales. It's not like that inquiry and quotations would be there. You need to also do the marketing. You need to also be setting up a project against which you would be pitching in for the customers. You need to also identify that how many customers you need to increase, how you need to build your pipelines, how the onboarding of the customers need to be done, right? How you would be pitching to your customers. So a lot of other things would also be there in the pre-sales. The detailed functionality is covered. A lot of negotiation will happen in the inquiry and quotation phase between the customer. You need to configure the product as per their requirement. You need to configure their requirement. You need to put the pricing as per what they needed it, what services, extra services they need. Based on that, you need to adjust the price. So a lot of to and fro happen during this part. So if the basic functionality is required, SAP S4 HANA has a basic functionality of inquiry and quotation. And now we are having new functionality in S4 HANA, which we will cover in the excellence. That is the customer management, the pre-sales management for the customer. It is called customer management, CM platform. Some advanced functionality would be coming, which we cover in our excellence part, that is CM, customer management. So customer management will be bringing up a little bit more functionality from the pre-sales in S4 HANA, but still it will be called basic in nature, because the further functionalities, the detailed functionalities are in C4C CPQ systems.